well, is social media addictive?
While the trial's going on, what I would say is this: it has all the hallmarks of addiction. So when we look at addiction, we say, do we have this compulsion to use? Do we have this craving when we're not using to say, I must get to this thing to use it? Do we also have this, I'm only going to have one. I'm only going to spend 15 minutes online today. And then we end up spending more and more and more. And this inability to cut back. And then really the hallmark is, I think, is that last one, which is, do I keep doing it despite negative consequences? And so I'm not saying it's exactly the same as substance use addiction, but it does follow all those traits of what we would say, starting to look like an addiction.
And we tend to think about these things in terms of what we're willing to accept from adults, and then there's the question of what are we pushing onto kids.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about kids under 18, how prevalent is social media use right now?
96%. 96% of teenagers have a smartphone, and probably not that same number because of parental controls and all that about what they're looking at, but 96% of teenagers have a smartphone. And almost all teenagers now, we're utilizing computers and tablets to learn. So we have access constantly to technology. In a recent poll, 50% of teenagers said they're spending too much time online. 50% say I'm online too much, and they're not talking about doing their homework or doing research. What they're actually referring to is I'm spending too much time on social media.
And that is really telling, that it is self-reporting. There are any number of things over the years that people have characterized as vices or problematic or addictive or what have you. And when kids are asked about their use of it, they'll say things like, oh, I do that, but it's fine. That's not the case here.
No, I'm glad you said that, because the Pew Research Center does these long studies, and they look at teenagers about their usage of social media. In 2022, only 22% of teenagers thought that social media was bad for their overall well-being. Just last year, we're at 48% say social media has a negative impact on my life. So this is not coming from adults telling them. This is teenagers reporting, I think this thing is not good for me.